Hey Aries, Three of Cups, having fun, celebrating, having a reason to celebrate, meet new people, new adventures. And this could be, I know a lot of you may be like, well, I'm not meeting new people, but there's something here that's deeper with the Three of Cups that's talking about not, how do I say this in the nicest way? Not letting anything bother you, okay? And I know easier said than done, but the Three of Cups very much is a card about being around people who love you, whether that's Zoom calling with people, FaceTiming right now, and everything that we're going through. But the Three of Cups is definitely celebrating what you do have instead of worrying about the lack thereof of things that you don't have. It's also very encouraging because it's saying, look, at the end of the day, if you don't have anything with love, or you don't have anything with somebody new or somebody old, or you guys are kind of not communicating and there's a blockage here, this is just learning to trust, going with the flow, relying on the universe to kind of discover commonalities and understanding the importance of friendship. That's the biggest thing here with the Three of Cups, is understanding who is here for me, who do I trust, who are the important people in my life. Yes, you may be hurting from maybe a past breakup, non-communication. Maybe you're hurting in the fact that you're just like, screw this, like I can't meet new people, I'm not ready for this, I just want to be single. But you have to remember what you have to back it up, even if it's your fur babies or your kids, whatever it is that makes you smile every day and remember and pushes you forward. That's what's important. The next card you have is She Who Divines, Futura, Future Choice Judgment. So you're going to have some things come your way. And I kind of got this feeling that something like this would come up for you guys, Aries, because right now it's kind of like the calm before the storm. Now, I don't think it's a negative storm. I don't think it's like, oh, I don't want you guys to be like, oh crap, here we go, like something terrible is going to happen. It's not that at all. This is, at some point I need to make a decision about something, but right now I'm hanging back with the gal pals or with the bros or whatever, the bromance. The Futura talks about needing to make a decision. What has brought me here and what are my options and what is everything that goes into this. So is somebody that maybe you're not communicating with, that at some point either you're going to start communicating with, that's going to come to some sort of fruition, or just in general making the decision to move forward or move on from the situation, whichever direction you need to go. Right now it's stagnant and you're kind of like, I'll get to it when I get to it. But Future is definitely saying you're coming to a point of needing to divide and conquer, basically. Okay. The next card you have is your current position coming into the month, and you have the Nine of Wands. The Nine of Wands is capability, it's stamina, it's understanding your power at hand here, understanding that regardless of whether this is a breakup that stays a breakup or a connection that stays distant, that you will get your closure if you need it. If it's a breakup or something that happened and you do want this back, you will figure this out. The Nine of Wands is about, almost as if people don't really know what you're capable of. You don't even really know what you're capable of until the going gets tough. And you're not the tough gets going type. You're the tough keeps going on, stamina, perseverance here with the Nine of Wands. So if you want to move completely on from the situation, you will. You'll have the strength to get the closure, to move on and go from there. If you want a new beginning with this person, I think it's going to be more of a patience is a virtue type situation, because I don't see you charging forward to them. I think you're kind of waiting for them to realize, you don't know what you have until it's gone type scenario. The next card you have is how you're feeling coming into the month. And you have the Five of Cups. The Five of Cups is a sadness or a feeling of loss or a feeling of loneliness or solitude. But Aries, you've done pretty well in this solitude for a lot of you, even though it's been hard and some of you think about this person or some of you want nothing to do with this person and you can't wait to move on. You're not in a position where you're desperate for other people's attention, or that you're needing you're not running back to an ex because it's a codependent relationship. Does that make sense? And they're not running to you for that either. So in this sadness or this loneliness, you're actually finding it very comforting just being alone. But also the Three of Cups. A lot of you have that energy that I talked about, where you're figuring out who your true friends are and figuring out the people that, you know, you're just getting emotional, mental support in other avenues. And like I said, again, it doesn't even have to be people. It could be your cats, your dogs, or it could be, you know, your family, your children. You get my point. All right. The next card you have is your distant past, over the past 5-10 years. Could be throughout your childhood. You have the Four of Swords. Now, the Four of Swords is rest, relaxation, recuperation. This is what to kind of ammer up for this futura, okay, for what's coming next. Because the Four of Swords is the universe's way of saying, you know, if you're dealing with somebody from the past, or if you're going to end up dealing again with somebody from the past, or whether it's a new beginning, and we'll get a little more kind of answers or clarity on which way it's going, because right now it feels very, very neutral. But the Four of Swords is the universe's way of saying, okay, Aries, like, you know, settle your fire a little bit, like, you know, wait a minute, because something big is coming that you're going to need to make a decision about, or something big is coming that is going to be life-changing relationship-wise. I can't explain it, but I could feel it before the read when I was saging. I just knew you guys were on the brink of something, and then when Futura pops out, that tells me that's exactly it. Like, you're looking at what options, what direction, what journey can I go, you know, where can I go forward, and this time it's going to be all or nothing. I know that sounds weird, but they're telling me all or nothing. Like, if you cut this connection, you cut this connection and you don't look back. If you decide to allow this connection to rekindle, then you will do it with brute force, in the fact that there's no more finger pointing, or no more he said, she said, or you did what to who. It's a clean slate. Okay, and you're like gearing up for it. You're you know, having this time and this time kind of, again, vamping up to what's coming. Now, the next card you have is your immediate past, over the past few months, past few weeks. You have the Five of Wands. The Five of Wands is chaos, priorities, competition. So there's something going on. Either this person really wants your attention, they've been coming back in, and maybe you just want nothing to do with it, or you've got some competition surrounding you, Aries. You've got more than one person who's interested in getting to know you, and you're kind of like, that's super nice, super sweet of you, but I'm not having it. I'm not feeling it. I'm feeling more like, you know, I'd rather be kind of in my own element, alone, resting, recuperating right here. The past few months have been, and it may be reversed, like I said, cross watchers, it could be that, you know, you've had people after you, and this is kind of a competitive, it could even be kind of competitive between the two of you. Whoever you're dealing with, Aries, they may be dating, you may be dating, but you both still have this strong connection. However, realistically right now, what they're telling me is, this is Aries, other people who maybe are pining for your attention. And that could be family or friends or whatnot, but there's some sort of competition here where maybe this is, for some of you, this is a long time ago, this person, and it never fully got closure. And so you've started to move on with your future already. You've moved in that direction. And now, as I said before, at some point in here, you know, they don't know what they've got until it's gone. There's a big mentality of that right now. Like, you started dating, or you started meeting people, even if they're just friends, even if it's just online. This person has realized, like, they may have made a very, very big mistake. And some of you are going, shit, they made a lot of big, big mistakes. Because the next card you have is your distant future. So over the next few months. And you have the Knight of Swords. The Knight of Swords is somebody who tells it like it is, who's not afraid to say, I'm calling you out on your BS. The Knight of Swords is confrontation, a little bit of hostility. This is just, but this is you making a decision, and it's almost as if you're saying, look, you're going to hear me out, and we're going to discuss this like two adults, and we're going to make sure that you understand clearly what is acceptable in my life and what's not, because I don't have time, energy, or like, I will persevere without you regardless. So there's definitely an ex coming back that you need to have a conversation with, but I also feel like there needs to be clearing of the air, so to speak, but it may get a little tangly here, because this person's coming back with the notion of, but if I give Aries enough time, or Aries, I miss you, I care about you, which seems to be a common theme with some of the reads this month, is that people have had people coming back. And I don't know if, you know, the virus or you know, what, if there's been certain things that are kind of reigniting that, because I've had more reads of people coming together this month than I usually do. A lot of months there's closure happening, or single happening, or new relationships happening, but this month has been an awakening for some people. You know, that, like I said 3 times now, that you don't know what you have until it's gone. They didn't know what they had until it's gone, and now you're like on the brink of moving on, or you've been, you know, talking to people again, making friends, whatever it is for you, and this person's like, but Aries, I want you back, and you're like, well, then prove it. Prove it. The Knight doesn't budge. The Knight doesn't sit here and go, oh, you said hello, you had me at hello. This isn't the movies. It doesn't work that way, especially with an Aries. The next card you have is your immediate future. So over the next few weeks, this is what I was talking about. Here's when the future's coming in. The Eight of Wands is very, very, very fast moving, very forward momentum. This is quick, it's swift energy coming in. It's news from afar. So it's somebody you haven't talked to in a long time. It's an ex. It could be family. It could be, you know, like children you haven't spoken to, or sisters or relatives you haven't spoken to. But for a lot of you, this is this ex I was talking about, that all of a sudden they realize there's some competition for you. They should have realized that a little sooner for some of you. They are going to be coming in quick. They do want to have some sort of conversation with you. But we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens, because you're very hesitant on that. Speaking of hesitation, the next card you have is anything tangible that's going to happen throughout the month. And you have the Nine of Swords. The Nine of Swords is anxiety. It's fear of something that hasn't happened. It's like worrying about the other shoe that hasn't dropped yet, right? So for a lot of you, this is feeling as though, did I make the right decision to cut this person off? Or have I made the right decision to not talk to them? And then they're going to come in, and they're going to be like, but Aries, 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 Aries. And you're going to be like, yeah, I don't know that I could go back to that. I don't feel a security, or I don't feel that trust factor between us. So there's going to be some moments of anxiety here. I'm not going to lie. It's not going to be anything bad, but you're going to have some decisions to make. Some things that, again, as I said, like right now you're hanging out. Enjoy yourself. Do Aries, do what you want to do. But this person's coming in, and look, you're going to have to really understand in your gut. When they come in, if they text you or they contact you, does it give you anxiety, like sick to my stomach anxiety? Like, oh God, what are they going to say? Or does it give you anxiety like, oh my gosh, you know, I hope that they say something wonderful. I hope we can have a decent conversation. There's a big variance between the two. And in order to understand that, you need to be able to read that. The next card you have is how you're feeling throughout the month. And you have the Ace of Swords. The Ace of Swords is power, clarity, logic. This is what you're hoping to see on top of this anxiety. This is exactly what I was just talking about. Your gut feeling. This is you saying, I need clarity. I need to see things exactly how they are. I need to know if this is something, a time where I can go back, or if this is time for me to move forward for a chance at a different future. So you're really going to be in the midst of, for some of you, chaos. Like I said, you have other people interested in you, or other people who want Aries attention. And then for others of you, it's just, hey, I've moved on. I'm doing certain things with my family. I'm, you know, there's competition here, but it doesn't even have to be other men or women. It could be, well, you know, we're now doing this as a family, or, you know, we've built this routine and we're really happy right now. It's almost as if, is there room for this person to come in now? And you're hoping for the clarity and the logic for it. Here you go. this is how they're coming into the month, okay? If you're dealing with somebody else, this is how they're coming into the month. The Four of Pentacles, greed, okay? They're coming into the month, greed, but not financial greed. Now, for some of you, you could say, well, it's financial greed. Maybe they depended on you. Maybe you were always giving and loving and caring that way. But the Four of Pentacles definitely talks about greed, as in now they're back saying, but I want your attention, but I want, you know, like Aries, I'm needing your attention, but I want you all to myself. But see, that hasn't happened in a while. And if it has happened, it's been like here and there, or not appreciated, or not put out there the way it should be. So this Four of Pentacles, they're definitely coming in, Aries, as in, you know, I don't want to sound possessive, and maybe this person has been like that a little bit, but they're definitely coming in as, you know, your mind type of mentality, or, you know, I know we've been separated, but I thought we were going to pick up where we left off. And then they're coming in feeling like the Queen of Cups, which is, you know, emotions that they're able to overcome. This is, you know, searching for something, absorbed in, the I miss yous, but the I can't let you go. This is also somebody who has been quiet for a long time, or somebody that you're being very quiet with. In fact, I think they're almost coming up as the Queen of Cups because they're so unsure about what you're up to that it's almost, it's bothering them. They can't take it. And they've been very mum about what they've been doing, but something sparked or lit a fire under them, and they're going, what's Aries been up to? What has Aries been doing? I really miss my Aries. And I say my Aries in the fact that they really are. It really is very strong. That energy is very, very strong, because it's that greed energy. But then you have this Four of Swords again, which, as I said before, you have one directly here. This is the time, Aries, for you to rest, recuperate, relax. You don't need to make any swift, you know, you don't need to make any swift decisions. They're going to come in like, ooh, and it's going to be like anxiety ridden. You're going to be like, holy cow, I don't know what to do about this. It's going to throw you off your game a little bit, but you'll settle in and relax and take a few deep breaths and understand what you want. At the end of the day, the Page of Swords is somebody who's seeking some sort of truth. And that's where you're kind of like, if you want to come back into my life, I need to know what exactly has been going on, what exactly you want. Because this is somebody who worries about glancing backwards, okay? This is somebody who's like, more information is required here with the Page of Swords. So again, Aries, you're not going to let this come in like lightly. They're not going to be able to just text you, how's it going? And you're like, oh, like again, like I said, you had me at hello. It's going to be like, I need a lot more insight as to what you're thinking, where you want to go, and what you've been up to for this period of time. The next card you have are your hopes and fears for the outcome, and you have the Four of Wands. The Four of Wands is a togetherness, a happiness. This is two people coming together who want the first completion of happy home, happy life, or a resting space, if you will, a peace, as a peace inside, which is very interesting, again, like I said, because you're surrounded by the Four of Swords. Four may be a number for you, or fives, because you had the Five of Wands here, and then you had the Five of Cups here. But the fours next to the four, I didn't even think about that, the Four of Wands, is very much some sort of peace, some sort of maybe in reality, even though you could be talking to other people, or you're kind of not, this is not at the forefront of your mind, or you do think about it, but it's no longer taking up the space that it used to in your headspace. Basically, the Four of Swords moving into the Four of Wands is definitely talking about, if you guys can make this happen, this is somebody you pictured your life with. This is somebody who pictured their life with you. So how do we get back here? Again, this is hopes and fears. Your hope is that you can maintain that or get back there, but your fear is, you know, how do we get there calmly without this Knight of Swords that's coming, which is definitely something that needs to be like, there's things that need to be said. It can't be ignored anymore. The next card you have is the outcome, which is the Two of Pentacles, balance, change, priorities. Look, Aries, at the end of the day, you know and I know that if this person comes in and you guys can make a go of it and you feel comfortable and you feel secure in it, then more power to you. And some of you are very inclined to do that if you can make a go of it. But the Two of Pentacles is saying you won't let your balance off. You won't allow your balance to be thrown off here, because your priorities are different. Your priorities are straight. It's hard to explain. It's almost as if this whole thing threw you off of your game, basically. And then now with the Two of Pentacles, like I said, when over here, it's kind of like, but we've got our life. I've got my life with my kids, and I've got our routine down. So unless you come in to fulfill, or unless you come in to enlift or lighten and brighten, you know, raise the vibration, then it's not going to work. You're just not willing to allow yourself to go back to that place. And when I say that place, everybody has one, and you know where it is, Aries, and you know what I'm talking about. And this person, for some of you, brings you back to that place. And unfortunately, you're not willing to sacrifice going back to that place anymore. And for others of you, you can find some sort of balance here. Now, the Six of Pentacles is interesting because this is a generosity, but it's also a charity. So be careful with this a little bit, because the Six of Pentacles is saying, don't take somebody back because you feel obligated. Don't take somebody back because you feel sorry or you're having a hard time with the word no. The Six of Pentacles, like I said, is a very charitable energy, very generous energy, but it needs to be what you want, not just something that I miss this person, or, you know, he or she is right. We do have a lot, you know, in the past. I hear a lot when I do reads and stuff where they're like, well, he or she said, you know, how could you let, you know, how could you not talk to me? We've had 10 years together. Well, you know, I've spent 10 years with the same person who maybe isn't a good fit. So you get my point. There's some of you who need to say no and walk away and work on your future. And there's others of you that can get there into this sun and solution. But again, it has to be addressed. Anything that's been going on needs to be addressed and fully addressed with this Knight of Swords. This is not, the Knight of Swords is not somebody who's like, okay, you said sorry. No, this is like life-changing. If we got back together, this is what I need from you. This is what you need from me. Can we compromise? Can we compromise and make it happen? Now, for a lot of you, yes, you can. Closing out, you have the Sun card, which is often thought of as Leo's card. But the Sun card is solutions. It's finding the gray clouds have lifted. It's seeing the clarity and finding a solution that you want. Now, the solution that you want may be to just do your own thing, have fun, enjoy yourself. Right now, Aries, you just don't seem to have this need to make the decision immediately. However, you're going to be forced to a certain extent into needing to make a decision. Now, I'm not saying forced as in, you know, this person's going to be like, I'm not leaving until you give me an answer, but there's going to be somebody very relentless at your door. Now, this could be a new person who's wanting to move forward with you, but you're still needing closure. And then here comes the X. I really do get this competitive that I was talking about before. Somebody new is trying to get to know you, and now here comes the past person going, but wait, I'm not done. We need to talk. So there is going to be some sort of quick action movement towards you. However, you don't have to move quick. You can take your time with it. There is no rush on this. So if you don't want to deal with it for the next 3 months and this person can't wait that long, then it wasn't meant to be. And same with somebody new. If you're still taking time and you've explained that you're getting over somebody and they're pushing, then it may not be the right connection. Okay, the Red Countess is your Oracle card, and this is deep within you know what is true and what to do or what not to do. There's so much noise and distraction in the world, though, sometimes even in our own minds, that listening to our inner wisdom can be hard. Can you trust that it is safe, that your inner voice is safe, or that your inner voice is safe, or that even if you can't hear your inner voice all the time, that you'll make the best judgment? And I think that kind of fits here perfectly with the Red Countess, because it's talking about, again, this noise. This Five of Wands is sticking out very prevalent in the fact that it's talking about chaos and priorities and change and all this stuff. And now you've gotten your balance, okay? You've gotten your priorities in balance. You have things in check. So, you know, can you allow somebody to come back in and throw you off balance? And being thrown off balance isn't always a bad thing. It just makes sure it's something that's comfortable for you, or that it's with the right person. A lot of you, there is going to be some sort of reuniting, but you're going to need to get past this Knight of Swords. So they're going to need to be able to endure that type of conversation. Some of you have been dealing with somebody who cuts and runs when things get hard, whereas you don't, because you persevere as this Nine of Wands. So, all right, Aries,